Hey, 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 welcome to a just random live stream. I was inspired to do this live stream for a couple of reasons. One, I've been asked a lot about, hey, you've been doing this for a long time. I got, congrats on where you've got, but what would you do today? How would you start over? We're at the beginning of this journey, not the end. And I was reminded by a conversation that I once read about from Warren Buffett. More on that in a minute. And then, second, um, I had the opportunity because the one and only Anna Kelly is returning from a 3-week trip in Europe, and I had an hour opening in my schedule. So I love talking to you. I love answering questions. I truly hope uh, you leave comments and we just interact. I will always go top to bottom. So if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to riff for probably 10 or 15 minutes on a key topic, and then I will go to your questions. So feel free to put them in, comments, questions, whatever you would like. So I've been asked by lots of folks. It's a pretty common question in podcasts about, hey, what would you do if you were starting today? So I was reminded of a Warren Buffett story in 1999. 1999, 25 years ago, Warren Buffett was asked, if you were starting over at 30 and you had $10,000, what would you do today? Again, I think at this time, so 1999, Warren Buffett was probably, what is he today? Is he 90 today? 92, something like that? So what would he have been? He would have been in his 60s. Let's assume Warren Buffett was 65. And he was asked, hey, if you were 30 and you had 10 grand, what would you do today? And the reason this question is important, and the reason that when you ask me, hey, what would you do different? I think people are looking for a different answer, a hack, easy button. And I loved Warren Buffett's answer, and we'll get into that now, but we're also related to what's going on here. So Warren Buffett said, and again, he's very kind of, grandpa-ish. He tells stories. So what Warren Buffett told this 30-year-old was, I would find a long hill with sticky snow. I would start early. I would harness compound interest, and I would practice disciplined investing. Then he would get to doing the work. I would start with the A's, meaning the alphabet, A, and go through all the companies until Z. Again, Warren Buffett's history is he read earnings statements. He did the work. I would, and this is still Warren Buffett answering the question, I would look for smaller companies in good businesses that are sometimes overlooked by the big boys. Then Warren Buffett closed with, this is the same advice I would give you in 100 years. Now, folks, think about that. Warren Buffett perhaps has given the best advice to a very common question. But I guarantee you the person that asked it was not happy with the answer. Warren Buffett basically said, do the work. He told you what doing the work was, and then you whine, cry, and bitch because you don't want to do the work. That's how I think this gentleman felt after answering that question. He's like, I don't want to read the earnings statement from every company A to Z. That's hard. That takes too long. I don't want to find a big hill with sticky snow. Give me the easy button, Uncle Warren. That's not how the system works, folks. The reason Warren Buffett has been telling everybody the secret to building wealth in stocks is because he knows nobody's going to do the work. And the fact that that same advice applied in 1999 and Warren says it will be the same advice in 100 years is telling. Again, I talk about the wealth formula all the time, right? Create disposable or discretionary income, step 1. Step 2, become elite. You can become an elite stock investor just like Warren Buffett. Pull up all the companies, read A to Z. And then when you get to Z, do it again. It is so comical when I tell people what I would do at 30, starting over, and they're like, that sounds hard. No kidding, it's hard. It's always hard. You think building wealth is easy? You're looking at Warren Buffett and going, I like what you have. Can I have that too? Then he tells you how, and you like spit in his face? Are you kidding me? How disrespectful. Absolutely disrespectful. So, again, folks, I'm here for you. I'm just going to rant. I actually created this little rant sheet about a month ago. I didn't have time to share it with you. I'm doing that now. I'm going to give you my thoughts at starting at 30, what I would do today. Again, you're probably not going to like it, but hopefully there's some little twists and turns in my story that you can appreciate. And then I hope to go to the comment section. Feel free to put comments in. I think Chris, I haven't read it yet, but it looks like Chris put a question in. Please put questions, comments. If I don't have any, this will be a very short live. And my hope is you and I can talk until roughly 9 a.m., maybe 8:55 Pacific. I'd just love to see what's going on in your world. If you watch the daily financial news this morning, you know that there's a big flip. I think the housing market has gone from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Yes, folks, 4 months, over 4 months supply, I think, is a buyer's market. The historical average is 6 is nonsense. The market is far more efficient and moves faster. Transactions almost did what I said they would, 3.89. I think we're going to break 3.88, which is the current cycle low, but I feel like that's a win. Nobody else was calling that collapse except me, so we got that right. But, of course, prices went up. Why did prices go up? Because of the mix. The part of the market that is selling or rising is things over $1 million. The part that is collapsing the most is things under 250. The housing market is broken. Crazy. Okay, now, what would I do today? Again, at 30, the first thing I would do, and this is very different, right? The plan for Olivia and I, if you read our book, One Rental at a Time, was just to get to 4 rental properties. Whether I like it or not, that's as big as my brain could think. I never thought in a million years Olivia and I would own more than 4 units. It never I thought like really rich people own housing, and anybody who had 4, it's just, it was as big as my mind could think. So obviously I know that's just bad. That's limited thinking. Maybe it's scarcity thinking. I don't know. But I know that now you can have more than 4. So the first thing I would do is I would have a plan. I would have a better plan. My plan in the beginning was to have 4. The plan today, I would probably put I would probably target a cash flow number, right? Let's just say our living expenses was 10 grand. I would probably target 25 grand, right? I would want a 2.5x our monthly expenditures. So instead of having a very limiting goal of 4, I would set a target of cash flow, because that's unit count doesn't matter. If I could get $25,000 with 10 units, I would do it in a heartbeat. So that's the first thing I would do. I would have a plan. Second, I would know that the first 5 years are going to suck. So I would probably have a little bit more reserves. Thankfully, Olivia and I had jobs that were high paying. Specifically, I had a commission-based job, which I was good at. So we had monthly commission checks come in, at least most month, because I sold something nearly every month. So I would probably increase reserves a little bit, maybe 10, 15, 20% in those first 5 years, because stuff happens. I would document our story. I didn't start documenting our story until we were 8 or 9 years in the business. I would start documenting day one. Why would I do that? Access to capital, access to a growing network. The next thing I would do is I would find a market, right? I would learn the skill. I call it, how to get started one rental at a time. I would learn the skill of real estate investing. And then I would find a market. When we started out, 25 years ago, I wasted a year. That's a painful year in the Silicon Valley. It should have been 6 months, but it was a year. So I would learn the skill. I would probably learn the skill still in the Bay Area. I like to go through units. I like to talk to people. I think it's really hard to learn real estate investing on the computer. So I would learn it in my backyard. And then after 6 months, I would go hunting. I would go find a market. Now, my preference would be to find a market in California. If I was doing that today, it'd be tough, right? The market we found in 2002 was Fresno, California. I don't know if I could make that work today at today's prices and today's rates. So I would find a market, and that might mean going out of state, out of area. I don't know, but I would figure that out. And then the next thing I would do once I found a market, started building a team, is I would do what we did, and I would just go all in. I would not be one of those folks that has like, hey, we've got 10 units here and 5 units there. And I don't think you get economies of scale. I don't think you truly learn the market. I think you confuse yourself. I think your chances of being got or stolen from are really high. I like to be in one area, get scale, and go from there. Other things that we would do along the cycle, documenting our stories. We might raise private money if it made sense. Again, not syndications. I would raise debt, not equity. I am not comfortable having other equity partners, but I have no problem putting on a note, which you could foreclose if I don't pay. I'm comfortable with that. And yeah, that's the same advice. And then kind of other little tidbits. If my family situation allowed it, I would house hack a fourplex. I mean, if I could do life over again, which obviously you can't, I would house hack a fourplex at 20. I would probably house hack another fourplex at 22. I would then house hack another fourplex at 24. And at that point, what would I have? 12 units in the Silicon Valley. It's now, what, 2020? So it's like, I don't know, 96, 98, something like that. And life would be good. Another thing I might look into is leveraging the IRS tax code. We might buy a fixer-upper, do a live-in flip, right? Live there for 2 years, sell it, and take up to $500,000 tax-free. Again, the whole idea is I would have a plan. I would have a much more rigid plan on how I would make real estate investing the key to our future. And I would try to get out of the rat race in 10 years. We started late. We had our spending was way too high, so it took us 15 years. I would try to get out of the rat race in 10 years or less. As I sit here talking to you, one thing that I think about is, would I get a college degree? Would I go back and get my MBA? That's a question I'm just thinking about right now. One, I would certainly get my college degree, as I think it helped me get into my sales career faster. Not that I've met plenty of enterprise sales reps that don't have college degrees or they dropped out in college. But I think my opportunity to understand business and technology was made better by my undergraduate degree at Santa Clara. Now the big question, would I get my MBA? Probably not. Probably not. No, I don't think I would. Again, I got my MBA because at the time when I started the program, I was an accountant. And after talking to a CFO, the CFO's advice was to get an MBA. Because my goal, remember at the time, was to climb the corporate ladder. And he said if you were basically going to climb the finance corporate ladder, which was, again, all I could think about, an MBA was required. However, realizing that I was about 6 months from transitioning to a sales career, which I would go on to crush, I don't think I would get my MBA. Wow, I don't think I've said that out loud before. Yeah, I don't think I would do that. So there you go. Hope that makes sense. If you have more questions about that, if I missed anything, again, folks, I just want to go back to Warren Buffett's eloquent answer from 1999. Yes, Warren Buffett was asked, if you were 30 and had 10 grand, what would you do today to become a billionaire? A billionaire. Again, he would find a long hill with sticky snow. He would start early, harness compound interest, practice disciplined investing, and then he would do the work. He would start with the A's, go all the way through to companies with Z. He would look for smaller companies in good businesses that are sometimes overlooked by the big boys. This is the same advice he would give a 30-year-old with 10 grand to become a billionaire in 100 years. And I know that works. Doing the work always works. And that's why most people won't be wealthy, because most people are allergic to work. It's funny. They want an easy button. They want some get rich quick. That's why they're always getting hit by scams. And it's why if you're a part of One Rental at a Time, if you're part of school, we're just a unique breed. The people in our school community know that doing the work works. They also know that the first 5 years suck. And that's why I think our school community, One Rental at a Time, is going to be a top 100 school. I'm declaring it right now. I need your help. You need to join. You need to be active. We are going to show people that real estate investors, whether you have 0 units or 100, we can be in one community, help each other, support each other, hold accountability groups, give education, give boot camps. It's the way to do it. I'm convinced that is the platform, and we will be a top 100 school. Last time I checked, I think we were number 809. So we are slowly building our way to top 100. Do me a favor, join, become part of school. You won't regret it. And hey, if you do, cancel. It's that easy. It's $20 a month. You get in there for a couple of weeks. You don't like it, cancel. No big deal. It's not a year-long commitment. It's 1 month at a time. But if you do join, if you do plunk down $20, give yourself a chance. Introduce yourself. Talk about your buy box. Ask your questions. Tell your story. I guarantee you, if you are active in the group, you won't be disappointed. If you're a wallflower and you don't interact and you look for the $1,000 boot camp or the 6-hour masterclass on creative financing and then leave, that's on you. Congratulations. You got thousands of dollars for $20. But what did you really get? You didn't get the network. You didn't get the experience. You didn't get the community. So, all right, let's go get some questions. Excuse me. Chris. So Chris is asking basically about banks doing extended pretend on apartments until there's a better future rate environment comes around, and thus makes no crash. So absolutely, banks are already doing that. I have been in this movie before, and this is what's going to happen. And I say this with certainty because it happened and we crushed it. Today, there are owners that are currently in extend and pretend. What does that mean? That means their 2 or 3 year bridge debt's come due. The bank has said, hey, you need to do a cash in refi or you need to sell the property. Most of these folks don't have any money. So they're going to tell the bank, congrats, I am going to sell the property. It will probably take 6 to 12 months, but I'm going to sell it. The bank sees a listing agreement, right, signed. It's on the MLS. The bank can watch it. But guess what? This is what happens. The seller list price is likely what they paid for it. And if you know anything about the stupidity of prices 2 years ago, that is wish pricing. And but they listed it, so they have bought time. Now let's fast forward 6 months. What has happened to the building? Well, the owner, who has now listed the property, is no longer doing a drop of maintenance. They are doing the bare minimum of repairs. They are doing Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid. Why are they doing this? Well, they know they're going to lose the property. That's the simple answer. The bank is praying for a miracle, maybe a busted 1031 or whatever. And what happens after 6 months or a year is the bank goes out and does another appraisal and realizes the bank is, or the unit, the building is in crap condition. at which point the bank will either extend and pretend again or more likely foreclose because now they know what the owner is doing. And why am I so confident about this? I would tell you a real life example that happened to us. So we found an 18-unit building that at the time was listed for $1.44 million. Why was it listed for $1.44 million? Because that's exactly what the owner paid 3 years before. This is probably 2012-ish. The building at the time, in prime condition, was probably worth 1.2. Again, why did he sell for 1.44? Because that's what he paid. The bank, the lender, came in and said, hey, you need to do cash in refi, your debt coverage ratio, whatever it is not good, no bueno. The seller listed the property, said, no problem, I'm going to sell the property, you're going to get paid. The bank said, great. In this case, the bank didn't come back for a year. The bank went back out and reappraised the property, and the building was a disaster. Nothing had been done. It had gone from a prime property in a prime location to just total slumlord in 12 months. That's when the bank unfortunately had to start foreclosure. The foreclosure process took almost a year, all of which the building kept falling apart. At which point we happened to know the lender. We walked the property with the lender. The lender realized they had a disaster. And again, remember, the lender has debt of, 1.2, probably after fee. At this point, I think the debt was 1.4, giving missing payments and not paid taxes and just a complete disaster. And we worked with the bank, which is also the seller, to buy it at $700,000. We bought it for 50% off. So yes, Chris, plenty of banks will extend and pretend. Plenty of owners will do exactly what the last guy did, try to sell it at list price, and the disaster is coming. So that's my elaboration per your request. Hopefully that makes sense. Don't know if you saw a post on Daily Financial News. Nope, I didn't see that. Generally, when I'm doing the Daily Financial News, I focus on the camera and not the comments. So no, I don't generally see anything in the comments. They're trying to repeal Costa-Hawkins. King Newsom doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. The king's the king, so he's going to continue to destroy California. Heaven forbid we never let him run for president or VP. He would destroy the country. So I am. In fact, he is the only politician I talk about because, again, he went to my college. He went to Santa Clara. It's where I went. We were there at roughly the same time. And, yeah, he was a rotten human being in college, and he's a rotten human being now. So I do not like that guy. With June prices being record high, what do you see happening with rents this year? That's a very good question. And I think there are two answers, and you have to go for multifamily apartments versus single family homes. So apartment buildings, specifically in the Sun Belt, I believe apartment rents at the national level will be flat to negative. Certainly for 2024. And not huge negative, but we're talking -1. And these are adjusted rents. So this is including concessions. Half off, 2 months off. I'm seeing these things in apartment buildings to help lease them up. Then it comes to what you and I hopefully care about here at One Rental at a Time, the great single family home. And I think you saw the numbers. Today we got existing home sales. The only part of the market that's rocking and rolling is stuff over $1 million. The stuff that is crushed is affordable homes. And we're not building them. You guys have heard me talk to Lance Lambert from Resi Club. My hope is that the average home size falls and we actually focus on building entry-level homes. That's not started yet. So until we fix the supply problem, I can't see rents in single-family homes going negative. Now, I do not think we're going to see 5, 6, 7%. That is frankly unhealthy. But it would not shock me if entry level affordable rents, affordable housing goes up 2%, that would not shock me. So again, if you bifurcate the market, apartments versus single family homes, I think you get two very different answers. Single family up slightly, multifamily down slightly. It's kind of where I'm at. Zuber, do you have any creative ways to unlock dead money or equity? No. I mean, you can go get an equity line. I borrowed from my 401k. You can get private notes if you want to do that. But yeah, no, I don't have any magic bullets. You can do portfolio loans. I mean, I know some people have 3 or 4 properties. You can do a portfolio loan on top of that. But yeah, no secret, no creative ways. Chris, OG subscriber 4 or 5 years. Would you mind doing a monthly update on the health of your rental portfolio, ups, downs, good, bad, etc.? Oh, I would probably need to work with my team, but yeah, I could do something like that. Yeah, I'll work with Amanda and see if we can't do something on that. That sounds good. Would you have started the YouTube channel from the beginning of your journey? Absolutely. 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 I would have started YouTube the day we decided. I probably would have started the YouTube channel after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad and just seeing after I read that book, and I read it, I don't know, a dozen times back to back to back. It was my comfort when I was flying, which I hate to fly. Yeah, I would have started it. I would have been Millennial Mike. I don't know if you guys have ever watched Millennial Mike's first video, but he basically is sitting on his couch, I think, or kitchen table, and goes, "Hey, I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm going to document the whole story." I would have been exactly that guy. Now, I don't think I would have done daily content. I probably would have done, weekly, maybe like a Saturday update or something. My life and whatnot probably wouldn't have allowed me to do it daily, but no question, I would have started YouTube day one. Absolutely. Based dad. The positive results people see, like health, wealth, etc., are due to hard work and discipline. Yep. People want the easy button. 6-pack abs. 30 seconds to 6-pack abs. Take this miracle drug. Buy my crypto coin. Blah 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 blah. It's just do the work. Daily discipline. Focus. Do it for a decade. Good stuff happens. Do you think the new laws in California will change what you would do today to what you did in the beginning? I don't. So kind of two answers to that. I am not convinced that after I learned the skill of real estate investing in my backyard, which is the Silicon Valley, and the result was, hey, there's no cash flow here, go somewhere else. I am not convinced that I would have stayed in California. I don't know that answer. I can't look at the camera and say with any certainty that we would have stayed in California. We might have gone out of state. Now, that has everything to do with the numbers and not the laws, right? So the one kind of hook on that is the law. California laws don't change behavior on that. But if the numbers work, right? I always talk about live where you want, but invest where the numbers make sense. I am not sure that in 2024 I could have made the numbers work in Fresno. I might have had to go all the way to Bakersfield, which is another hour. So I am not convinced we would have picked California City. But it has nothing to do with the laws. It has everything to do with the return on capital, or what I call yield. Hopefully that makes sense. Ooh, Chris got a question for me. Hey, basically my brother's asking me about investing. He's turning 60. How would you address this? Oy, 60. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I don't know your brother, right? But so let's paint a picture of a 60-year-old. So obviously a 60-year-old's closer to retirement than the beginning. I think that's a fair assessment. I'm going to assume, God, how can I assume this? I'm going to assume the 60-year-old has some capital to deploy. How much do I want to assume? Let's assume he's got 100 grand. 401k, savings, whatever. He's got 100 grand. And now he's asking about investing. What would I do? I guess the first thing I would ask, and I ask this really of anybody over 50, is what's your timeline? Like, how fast do you need a return? Are we playing short ball where we're talking about 65, or are we still playing long ball like you're going to live to 80 or 90? If their time horizon is less than 8 years, I tell them not to touch real estate and go do stocks. Go maybe start a bit. Basically, I would tell them to become I would either do stocks or understand how to be a private lender, safely be a private lender. Again, the story doesn't change. The first 5 years of real estate investing is hard. And if you're 60, that means you're 65 when you maybe go from a trickle to a small stream. And the small stream doesn't turn into a river until you're 10 or 12 years. So that's why I talked about timeline, right? If we're playing a game like your brother's going to be 80, 85 and full of piss and vinegar, then maybe real estate. But if he's, 60 years old and he's already breaking down and he's got to use a walker and he can't go outside, real estate's not for you. That's my off the top of my head thought, Chris. Mike, have you ever thought of a 1031ing everything you own into something gigantic, institutional grade investment, multifamily? Have I thought about it? Sure. Would I ever put all my eggs in one basket? Hell no. I would say the thing that's probably most interesting that I've thought about a lot is 1031ing into all new construction. But that's more like one-on-one, right? Take this, go there. Take this, go there. That is something I play with. I've absolutely played with that. And it wouldn't shock me if in the next year or two, we take something that was built in 1924 and flip it to something built in 2024, via 1031 exchange. But I would definitely diversify, kind of what Dion talks about, right? I wouldn't want to put it all in one spot. I would, hey, let's put some by the military base. Let's put some by the hospitals. Let's put some on this side of town. Yeah, that would, I'm seriously thinking about that now because again, if you've ever read my second book, 15 Conversations with Real Estate Millionaires, the most impactful chapter to me was that I think she was 72, where she was talking about unwinding her portfolio. And that chapter still sticks with me. And I wrote that book like 2 years ago. So I do think about, hey, when do you start repositioning? When do you start setting up your portfolio so that it is easy for your daughter to take it over, where it's easy to do all of that? So yeah, we're absolutely thinking about those things because it will probably be, once we decide to go kind of that route, it's probably a decade to unwind everything we have. So yeah, that's what I think about. Good morning. Did I pay for my MBA? That's a good question. No. Well, I don't know. Yes and no. So my employers had a program where if you go and I think you had to get a certain grade level. I think it was a B or above. They would do what's called reimbursement. So my courses were reimbursed, but I had to pay books, as I recall. I paid for books, which was thousands of dollars. But no, my MBA was it was entirely reimbursed by my employers. Oh, what are red flags you look for in a property management company? I want to know how they make money. I want to know how the principal makes money. Why do I talk about that? Because I got burned, right? Some people set up property management companies to quote unquote keep the lights on. It's a very low margin, high stress business, but it does allow, some people to keep the lights on in their business. Also, it's sometimes a lead source for folks. So in my experience, and you can hate me if you want, but I don't generally think real estate agents who do property management on the side are people I want to work with. I want to find a property manager where the owner is like, hey, you know what? My portfolio is so large, and I'm an investor. I want to create a property management company for me and others like me. That has been our greatest success. That is what Brad did. Brad's our owner and family friend. Been with Brad for, 15 years, maybe 12 years. Wouldn't go back. So that's what we found. Also, I want to know a property manager that invests. Like, are your systems outdated? Like, what was the last capital investment you did? Do your people get training? Are you up to date on all the changes in laws? Just show me that the property management arm is service based versus kind of cost. And I guess the last thing I'll talk about is people that try to push property management and be the low cost. That never works. Oh, we're the low cost provider. Well, that's a red flag, because how do you make any money if you're the low cost provider? So those are some thoughts. How are you factoring in healthcare costs, growing family with trying to get away from a W-2? Go get quotes. That was something we did, and we got platinum coverage. It's not cheap. Family coverage for where we are in our age was a couple of grand a month. No no pre-existing health conditions, none of that stuff. Still, platinum coverage is $2,000. It's just part of the equation. No fancy math. I want to have the best coverage available. I want to know if God forbid something happens, we'll have the best care possible. So yeah, we just put it in the formula, and and we got the best we could. So yeah, it's just part of the calculation. Thoughts about pursuing postgraduate degrees of employer-provided scholarship? I got mine exchanged for 4 years, additional years of employment, got promotions, etc. Again, that would be your plan. So again, I had never said that out loud before. I'd actually never thought about it. But my MBA, this is just my experience. So again, my employers paid for my degree. However, as usual in Zuber fashion, my degree was earned in the evenings while I worked at least one, if not two jobs. And I went to a part-time program and got done 9 months early. So the program was supposed to take 36 months. I took 27. I did summer school to get it over with. So what does that all mean? While I was getting my MBA, I had no time to do real estate. It was all encompassing. I went to work, then I went to school. And if I wasn't in school, I was at a second job. And if I wasn't at a second job, I was doing homework. And oh, by the way, I was married. Getting my MBA, again, in my world, meant I had no spare time to become elite, right? I always talk about step 2 of becoming getting wealthy is you got to become elite at something. I had zero time to become elite investor because I chose to take my little bit of discretionary time and get an advanced degree. That's just me. Now, if you're getting a degree or a scholarship and you're getting promotions out of it and it fits your career plan, by all means, go for it. My opinion on my advanced degree really should mean nothing. I'm 52 years old thinking about something I earned at 28. It was the right decision at the time. I'm not sure it gave me anything extra. I don't know. That's just my opinion. With possible multifamily commercial opportunity ahead of us, how would we buy the dip? Would we be buying high interest rate variable, or would you buy over 5 units, 30-year fixed? So my preference would be to get 10 years or more. If I could get 30-year fixed rate, that would obviously be great. I suspect, like last time, when banks start to foreclose on these distressed units, They will be highly flexible to work with you because they know they have a problem. They're probably not going to give you 30-year debt, but they could give you 10. That's what we got last time. Again, it's all negotiations. Again, these banks will have the asset. They're not in the asset management business. So they're going to want to find a proven entity. Also, you can get DSCR loans of 30-year fixed. I talk to Velocity Mortgage every, what is that, Thursday, Stephen Dow. I have apartment buildings today, 3.99 fixed for 30 years. 30-year fixed rate money on apartments, multifamily, 3.99. How? Because I took advantage of the Fed breaking housing, and Velocity Mortgage offered 30-year fixed rate money on apartments. So I got them. I even got 3.99 on a commercial building, like a office. So again, take advantage of what's available. So in short, I would look for 30. I would take 10. That would be what I would negotiate to, if possible. Hey, Jen. Hello. Hi. Say hi to Kenny for me. Yep. Another great day in the real estate game, Daniel. Thank you. I'm currently under contract for my third property. My goal is to get to 4 rentals and reassess from there. I love that. How do you overcome the nerves of buying additional properties as a new investor? I treat every deal standalone. I don't merge them together. I don't say, hey, deal 2 has to pick up for deal 3. So I just look at every deal. I know that I write up great offers, and I'm happy with that. I know that I do the work every day. I know that I'm disciplined. I know that I've looked at 5,000 properties, and for whatever reason, this one is the best deal. And I trust myself. I never had any nerves after the second or third purchase because I knew what I was doing. And that's what focus and daily discipline is. That is what becoming an elite does. When you're elite, it doesn't matter. You know what you've done. You're not gambling. You're not guessing. You're not assuming. It's you either know it or you don't. So what I would tell you, Jordan, is if you're doing the work and you know that this is a great deal, trust yourself. And you already got, what, you got 2, right? Yeah, you've got 2 already. How'd you do? I mean, that would be the question I would ask Jordan if we were friends. I would like, all right, you bought the first 2. You thought they were great deals. It's been a year. How'd they do? Were you right? Were you wrong? Were you surprised? That's probably what I would do. I'd probably look at your first 2 and ask myself how I did, right? You thought they'd be great, but are they dogs? Are they alligators? What are you doing? And that, if they are dogs, I probably would be nervous about the third because I made mistakes. But did I learn? Now, if the first 2 were great, I would have no concerns. I was like, great, nailed it, got what I wanted, good to go. So that's kind of how I think, Jordan. Hopefully that helps. I live and love California. I need a primary residence, but can't afford a single family home here. So I have a house hack, aka multifamily. But these new laws are scary. What's your opinion? I'm not sure which new laws you're referring to. You're probably referring to rent control, I'm guessing. Maybe you're referring to landlords having to pay tenants and all of that. I think house hacking is the right idea. Again, I told you earlier I would probably house hack 3 4-plexes and be in a pretty good spot. I would just understand the laws and don't break them. Again, I don't know which law specifically has you concerned, but I would just understand them. If I was really nervous, I would pay an attorney to kind of educate me, ask questions. I wouldn't let laws dissuade you. We have a huge need in California for affordable housing. It's not going to change. We're not building anything, so it's only going to become more of a need. Hey, Jen. Yeah, I hope to do more of these as well. I like going live. Oh, look, Kenny's there. Hey, Kenny, how are you? Justin, I would think you would say start sooner, house hack, and expand your network sooner. Yep. And last thing, Justin, good guess, document the story. That would be the only thing. Oh, good question from Jen. Are we still looking for Fresno single family home or waiting for multifamily? So in Fresno, I think at this point, we're just looking for multifamily. We've got what we got. It pays for our life. We haven't seen a good single family in a year, maybe 16 months. So at this point, we're really focused in Fresno and reinvigorating our relationships with community banks. I'm reaching out to new credit unions. I'm just trying to become a known entity to more and more banks in Fresno. So I am definitely doing the work to set myself up to have a really good 2025. That's the game I'm playing in Fresno. Single families, I'm doing this buy in Vegas thing on purpose. I'm trying to find a residential, it's probably going to be residential single family home in Vegas or Henderson. Man, it's tough out here. Man, Vegas is wild. It's really hard out here. So that's where I'm focused. Again, I'm very fortunate. I don't have to do any deals at this point. We're good. I'm just doing it as a mental challenge, see if it's possible. So to your question, or maybe even your guess, Fresno at this point, it's all 1031 exchanges. It's all, the goal is to maybe double the size of our portfolio, but that's really setting up for 2025. And then I'm taking some cycles in 2024 to kind of find a new buy box in Vegas and see if I can start over here. That's what I'm doing. Good question. Would you have considered self-management at any point of your journey? No. Most of that is because I had a demanding full-time job, which would take me all over the world, and I don't want Olivia to kind of pick up the slack. So no, self-management, not for me. I was out of the country. I mean, in a given month, I was out of the United States probably 10 or 11 days. And that would mean Olivia would have to pick up the slack. And she already had a crazy job. She was raising our daughter. That was the most important thing. I would have never asked her to self-manage. No. That's just me. Not financial advice, but would you have put any money in retirement accounts during your journey? Yeah, absolutely. My employers, at least as far back as I can remember, did a company match. I think giving up the company match is crazy. So I always got the company match, always. It was like 100% return. And oh, by the way, once I got my account over 50 grand, I could borrow against it. So think about this. I put in 25 grand. My employer put in 25 grand. I then can go get 50% of that or my 25 grand back, and I still have 25 grand in. I'm going to do that every day. So absolutely. I would absolutely. As long as your company is matching, I think that's free money, at least from where I sit. What are your thoughts on new builds in areas with harsh climates? I've seen multiple lawsuits on D.R. Horton and other builders for poor workmanship. I'm not sure what harsh climates have to do with new builds. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. What are my thoughts on new builds? It's tough to make the numbers work, at least what I've seen. But if you can, I think build for rent's a big deal, right? Clearly somebody's making it work. I'm not opposed to, like if I could buy a track home, a new build, if I was going to put something out in the universe, let's just say D.R. Horton or KB Homes or Lennar or Pulte or Toll Brothers, whoever it is, some publicly traded company. Let's say they found a 100-acre plot in Vegas or Henderson, and they're going to build, I don't know, 1,000 homes on, 1,000 homes under, like 996 square feet, 3, 1.5, 1-car garage, and they were priced right. I'd go buy a couple of those. Yeah, this has got to make sense. I think a lot of new builds are just too big. They're just too big. And I think new builds, too many upgrades and, all of that. So, yeah. But I don't know what the D.R. Horton workmanship is. I'm not up to date on that. So not sure what that is referred to. I'm sure dialed in with your property manager, but what questions do you have to learn to ask? I really like my managers, but I'm not sure I'm asking the right questions. In the beginning, it's like, what are the systems and processes? Oh, the big question I would ask is, tell me about the eviction process. Tell me about the rents late process. Because everybody talks about, I can get you the best tenant with the best rent and we'll fill it fast. Yeah, you bet your butt are, because you're going to get paid to do that. Tell me about the hard stuff. Tell me about client communication. Tell me about work orders. Tell me about segregation of duty. Show me how you're not going to steal money from me. Show me how you have checks and balances where so and so creates the work order, but somebody else quality checks the work. I don't want one person creating a work order and paying the work order without verifying. That's how you lose money. Show me segregation of duty. Show me this checks and balances where you're not going to steal from me. Um, all of those things. Last couple of months, have you been experienced higher evictions, people getting behind, etc., on your portfolio? I'm experiencing this now in Bakersfield, sister city. We had a little jump in evictions about, what month is this? July, probably January, February, March. I'm not sure what happened there. It's back to normal now. Yeah, our portfolio, at least I haven't checked. Yeah, I haven't checked July collections. I'm sure they're fine. I get a daily report. But as of June, we are back to normal. Even in May, I think we were back to normal. Yeah, we had a jump. What does a jump mean? We maybe had, I don't know, in a normal month, we probably have 5 to 7 people that need to be reminded to pay rent. I think in January, February, that jumped to like 20. I think 15 of those or so caught up. But yeah, we had a few extra evictions in Q1. Q2 was normal. I haven't checked Q3 because it just started. But yeah, we did see a Q1 jump, but it seems to be behind us at this point. Getting an MBA, and I don't think it makes much sense. Yeah, it's you just got to have a plan, right? And even if your MBA is paid for, which mine was, is it going to be a key thing that leapfrogs you in your career? Will it help you become a better, one thing I guess I'll put out there is, if you're thinking about starting a small business, you're going to be an entrepreneur, and your employer's paying for your degree, an MBA might be the right move. One of the things you're going to learn being an MBA is how to be an entrepreneur. There's all kinds of electives and career paths and, all of that, right? So again, kind of, flipping the script, if you wanted to become an entrepreneur and your company's paying for it, an MBA might be a great degree. Plus, the other thing that, the one thing let me go back. The one thing my MBA gave me that my undergrad did not is a network. My network, because of my MBA at Santa Clara University, allowed me to make some pretty important phone calls, in that first decade. Because I had the degree, go Broncos, I could call other Broncos. And again, because I got my degree in the Silicon Valley from a Silicon Valley-based school, the network's pretty deep. So I was able to leverage that. One thing you will get with an MBA is a pretty impressive network. Where am I? Oh, I've never hired a handyman. Wow, good for you. What are questions you would ask vet one before hiring? I'd want to go see their work. I'd want to go see a job. And I'd want to go see a job they're currently on to see how clean they are and all of that. Yeah, I'd want to go see a job. Again, everybody has great references, but for me, it'd be, well, let me go see you at a job site. Hey, Rand, congrats on 5 single-family homes. It's pretty awesome. All right, we'll do this last little question, and then I will get ready for my 9 o'clock interview. If you could start over, would you ever partner up or try to build bigger apartments, buildings, continue? Nope, wouldn't do that. Not my thing. I don't mind raising debt. I'm not going to raise equity. I don't need, life's too hard already. I don't need somebody else's divorce or drug addict or other stuff screwing with my plan. So yeah, there you go. I wouldn't do that. All right, that's my alarm telling me to shut this down so I can get ready for my 9 o'clock interview. Remember, folks, Join school, 20 bucks a month, get around 200 other people doing the work, network. If you are going to spend 20 bucks a month, might as well introduce yourself, say what's what, go do the 10-week boot camp, creative financing, whatever you'd like. I hope you have an amazing day. Make it a great day. Don't forget to do the work. Congrats. It's a buyer's market. Go make a great deal. Later.